In this video, we're going to look at question 4 from 2019 higher level paper 1. So in this paper, we are told that Katie has a gross annual income of 52,460 euros. 8.5% of this is deducted or removed, subtracted in pension contributions. The amount left is Katie's taxable income. So we have to work out her taxable income. The first thing to do is that we need to calculate her pension contribution. We know that pension contribution is 8.5% of 52,460. Wherever we see an expression where we have a percentage of a number, we always multiply. So in this case, we do 8.5% times 52,460, which if put into the calculator, remember to put the percentage into the calculator, gives us 4,459.1 euros. So this is the pension contribution. Now, taxable income is always gross minus pension contribution. So let's do just that, 52,460 minus 4,459.1. And that gives us 48,000.9 euro. And this is the answer. Make sure to take a note of this answer because that's what we're going to be using in part B of this question. We're looking at Katie's tax or net income. So we need to calculate the tax that she's paying. And we know from the question that tax at 20% is taken on the first 34,000 euros, and tax at 40% is taken on balance. That's an important detail, and we need to figure out what it means. We also know that Katie has annual tax credits of 4,200 euros. We need to work out her net income. The easiest part of this question is to calculate tax at 20%. We know that 20% tax rate is applied to the first 34,000, so we can quickly calculate that this tax is equal to 20% of 34,000, which is equal to 20% times 34,000, which is equal to 6,800 euros. Now, just a reminder, wherever we have 20%, that is the same as saying 0.2. So I could apply the same thing over here. Now, tax at 40% is a little bit more complex because 40% is paid on the balance. Now, what is the balance? Balance is simply the difference between 48,000.1 minus 34,000. This is the balance of the taxable income. So the 20% is applied to the first 34,000, and there is a remainder above the 34,000, the amount that is taxed at 40%. So we need to find out what that amount is. So first, let's calculate the remainder. The remainder can be calculated as follows: 48,000.1 minus 34,000, and that's equal to 40,000.9. So this should be 0.9, and this is 0.9 from a previous question. So we have this is 14,000.9. So at 40% is tax at 40% is 40% of 14,000.9. And that's equal to 5,600.36. 5,600 euros and 36 cents. Now, total tax is the sum of tax at 20% and tax at 40%. So that's 6,800 plus 5,600.36. And that gives us 12,400.36. Now, we also know that she has annual tax credits of 4,200 euros. So we need to subtract those tax credits. Generally, when we pay tax, we first calculate the total tax that we need to pay on our taxable income, and then we subtract the tax credits. So that will give us 12,400.36 minus 4,200, and that's equal to 8,236 cents. So the net income is total income minus net tax, minus total, minus net tax, sorry, so there should be net tax here. And that's 48,000.9 minus 8,200.36, which gives us the final value of the net income of 39,854 cents, and that's the final answer to part B of the question. So part C of the question is asking us to do the following. Katie has a credit card bill 3 months ago for 420 euros. I highlighted the interest rate, which is the important term. The interest rate on her credit card is 2%, and I also highlighted that it's accumulated monthly, so 2% per month, compounded monthly. She has not paid any of her bill. We have to find out what her bill is now 3 months later after she got her bill. So we need to calculate her bill at the end of month 1, month 2 and month 3, because the interest rate is 2% per month and it's compounded monthly. That's why we need to do it for each of those months. To find out the value on her bill, we need to do the following. First of all, at the end of month 1, I know that her bill will be 420 plus the interest on that bill. So the interest is 2% per month. So I need to find out what's 2% of the initial value on the bill, and the initial value is 420. So if I do that and put that into my calculator, I'll get that the value of the bill at the end of month 1 is 428.4 euros. So now I can repeat the same procedure for month 2. I know that at the beginning of month 2, her bill was 428.4. and that at the end of that month, her bill will be the original amount at the end of month 2, at the beginning of month 2, plus the interest of that amount. So that's 2% of 428.4. And if you put that into the calculator, you'll find out the value is at 436.968 euros. 436 euros and some small decimal point, 436. Sorry here. So now the final thing is that we need to calculate the bill at the end of month 3. So I know that at the beginning of month 3, the bill is 436.968. And I know that the interest on interest accumulated during month 3 will be accumulated on that amount. So I can write plus 2% of 436.968. And if I put it into my calculator, I'll get 445.707. So now we need to round this value to the nearest cent. Cent is 1/100th of a euro, which is the second decimal point. So we're rounding to the second decimal point. If we round to second decimal point, this value will turn into 445. .71. There is another way to solve this question, which uses what's known the compound interest formula, and that formula tells us that the bill, or the amount, let's call it A, will be equal to the principal, which is in this case 420, times 1 plus the interest rate, which is 2%, and the amount of time, the amount of times that the interest will be compounded. So we know that the interest is compounded monthly, and we know that the bill has been here for the 3 months, so the interest will be compounded for 3 months. So we need to raise that to the power of 3. If you know that compound interest formula, that's great, it's very useful. And if you put that into the calculator, you'll get the same value, 445.71 euro. Last part of this question has the following. Katie bought a motorbike last year. Since she bought it, the motorbike lost 10% of its value. This is an important bit of information. The value of the motorbike right now is 12,150 euros. We need to work out the value of motorbike when Katie bought it. Okay, so if at the beginning the value of the motorbike is 100%, and the motorbike lost 10% of its value, currently the motorbike is worth 90% of its original value. If that's the case, there are two ways that we can calculate the current price of the motorbike. The first way is as following. We know that 90% is equal to 12,150. We know that 1% is 12,150 divided by 90. 1%. So that gives us 135 euros. So then 100% will be equal to 135 times 100, which is equal to 30,500 euros. The other way to solve this question is as following. 90% is the current value of the motorbike. We want to find out the original value of the motorbike, and whenever we want to find out the value from its percentage, we always divide by that percentage. So in this case, we know that 12,150 is 90%, so we need to divide that by 90%. You can put that into a calculator, and if you get that, you'll find that the value is 13,500 again. So that's the correct answer. There is another way to write this down. 12,150 divided by 0.9. 90% is equivalent to 0.9 or 9/10. So that gives us the same value of 30,500 euros. And that's the final correct answer.